If I was you, I'd be judging me really hard right now. I'd be looking with a hairy eyeball wondering, who the fuck is this guy? And what the fuck is a hairy eyeball? If I was you, I would be in awe of the incredible diversity of words, of people, of styles, and I'd be jaw open in anticipation of what comes next. But not actually jaw open, more like my brain would be jaw open, and I'd be dreaming of lockjaw. If I were you, my brain would probably be wandering the streets outside looking for the lamppost to lead me towards inspiration. I'd be pulling out my phone right now thinking that a poem about the origin of hugs is a good idea. I'd type it out and you'd see that stupid glow on my face, outing me as a person not paying attention. If I were you, that last line caught my attention, and I'd now feel kind of guilty of my lapse of concentration. I'd tune back into the line, did you know that silence and listen have the same letters? And that line would be a mind melt because I'd be visualizing the words rotating the letters like Harry Potter with a wand and being pretty impressed. Now, if you were me, you'd be pretty alright. You'd be spouting off these words hoping that you won't forget the next ones or lost your spot in the poem because awkward pauses are just, well, awkward. If you were me, you would feel pretty special being surrounded by such an incredible lineup of talented poets whose souls are so beautiful that you almost cry. But you tell yourself that you're not crying, that they're crying, or that you have dust in both your ducts. If you were me, you'd know that this poem is kind of a rip-off of an iconic Steve Sauve piece. You'd feel kind of bad that you're doing it, but also happy that you get to highlight this incredible Ottawa artist again. Also, you think if you ever did get to meet one of your poetic icons, that he'd probably be okay with it, and you'd be pretty tight poetry pals. If you were me, you'd understand the work of putting together this show, and we're so thankful for the people that have made this community what it is. You'd stop your poem in the middle to force the audience to give them a well-deserved applause, which is a weird thing, but give an applause for all you people. If you were me, you would appreciate that a room full of strangers have just given you 3 minutes of their time intentionally. Hell, they even paid to hear this poem. And that privilege should not be taken for granted. If you were me, you'd admit to the audience that 4 years ago you picked up a pen and wrote some really shitty poetry that you still perform today as a reminder of your artistic journey. You'd end this poem by telling the audience that they can be wordsmiths too. All they have to do is try.